how to hide your ACT or SAT scores from certain colleges on the Common App, and reveal your SAT or ACT scores to other colleges on the Common App. That is the topic of today's video. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is collegemeister.com. And if you're interested in learning about whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America, visit areyouontracktogetin.com. Again, that's areyouontracktogetin.com, at which you will complete a free 3-minute assessment. Your results will be emailed to you right away, and they will help you clarify whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America. You want to log into your Common App account, go to the middle Common App tab, and then arrive at the page listed Testing. This is the page where students are able on the Common App to self-report their SAT or ACT scores. They can actually also report scores from other tests like AP exams and IB exams, and also TOEFL and Duolingo tests and other such tests, IELTS. But today we're going to focus really on a student, theoretical student who wants to submit his or her ACT scores to certain colleges, but hide the ACT scores from other colleges. Let's say the student has a 33 on all sections of the ACT. That's a pretty respectable score, but he's applying to a school that is test optional, at which the 33 may not be so appealing to certain colleges, but at other colleges, that 33 is going to be extremely appealing. So he wants to put his information to the Common App, but only submit it to certain colleges. Now, I will throw out the caveat that on each college's supplement, there usually is an additional question inquiring whether the student is applying test required or test optionally, meaning does the student want to hide his scores or does the student want to reveal his scores? You must answer that question honestly and accurately as well, regardless of what you put into the testing page on the common portion of the Common App, because what you write or check on that page of the supplement for the college you're referring to in any given situation will apply specifically to that college. So even if you happen to self-report your scores on this page, the common testing page on the Common App, and if you report on the supplement to a particular college that you want to apply without your test scores, that will override. Even if you share your scores, they won't look at your scores if you've said on the supplement that you don't want to have your scores considered. So this is just part of the puzzle that I'm about to show you, but keep the other thing that I just said in mind, because you want to be accurate across the board so that the colleges ultimately consider your scores if you want them considered, and don't consider your scores if you don't want them considered. The other thing to keep in mind is that the vast majority of colleges currently that are test optional, and even the vast majority of colleges that are test required, allow you to self-report your scores on the Common App and do not currently require you to submit your official test scores from the testing agency. However, certain colleges still require you to submit the official scores from the testing agency, regardless of what you do on the Common App's testing page. So make sure you understand what each college on your list, what their policy is, because you don't want to think you've shared your scores on the Common App, let's say to University of Maryland or Carnegie Mellon, and that's all you have to do, because those are two schools that in recent years have required you to submit your official test scores. Even if you want your test scores considered on the Common App, that's not going to be enough. You can self-report them on the Common App, but that's not going to count as much as or like what you really need to do, which is have your official scores sent before you even meet your deadline. The vast majority of colleges, we're living in an environment right now where as long as you submit your scores on the Common App, you don't have to actually submit your official scores until you deposit and matriculate. But for a handful of schools out there like Maryland, like Carnegie Mellon, like some others, they're not going to even consider those self-reported scores as real until they also get an official score report from the SAT or ACT. So please keep that in mind. Now, as it relates to actually sharing i.e., revealing your SAT or ACT scores on the Common App, or hiding them. This is how it works. You're on the testing page, and let's say you want to submit your or share your reveal. That's a nice fancier word. Your ACT scores and your a couple AP scores from AP exams. You want to click on yes, that you are going to self-report your scores here. You're going to select the exams you want to self-report the scores for. And again, if you're an international student, you're also going to indicate whether or not you have any other leaving exams from that particular country. For the purposes of this exam or this example, I'm just going to say no, that I'm not an international student. Then I'm going to go to how many test dates I want to report, or test scores from the ACT I want to report. I'm only going to report one, and I'm not going to report anything with ACT plus writing. I'm just going to submit the ACT score without writing. And I'm also going to indicate that I have no future ACT test dates to report. Then I'm also going to just enter all my scores in as 33 on straight across the board, 33 for the April 13th, 2024 test date. And then I'm going to hit continue. Then I'm going to report my 2 AP exam scores, one for US History, a 5, one for Latin, a 5. And I'm going to continue. And then I'm going to go back to the page, and I'm going to hit the preview button at the top. And now you see that this is what colleges are going to see if I am revealing my scores to that college. They're going to see all my scores. That's it. Very simple. But let's say you've now submitted your Common App to the college that you want to get the 33 and the 5s on those 2 AP exams. Let's say you applied to University of Miami. That 33 is a really nice score for them, as are those 2 5s on those AP exams. You're proud of submitting your application to Miami, University of Miami, maybe even Miami of Ohio. Both of those schools would like to see those scores. But now you're going to be applying to a school like, I don't know, let's say you're applying to Princeton, or you're applying to Columbia, or you're applying to Penn. The 33, could go either way for those schools, and you have the right to apply test optionally to those schools if you feel like the 33 would, not be something you would want to share. I would probably, in most cases, reveal the 33. It's not a bad score to any school, but you have the right to apply test optionally if you want. So all you have to do is check no. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then when you preview it, there are no scores to report. It's that simple. Now, let's say you change your mind. You were going to do no to Princeton, but now you're saying, I want to hit submit the 33. I'm okay with it. You can hit yes, and it should save it. So you don't have to re-enter it all in again. When you hit preview, all that information that you previously entered is in there. All right, so you don't have to re-enter it again just because you hit no. You can toggle basically back and forth between the no and the yes. And you can always hit the preview button, not just on the testing page, but any page of the Common App, in order to make sure that it's appearing the way you want it to appear before you go to the actual process of submitting the Common App and paying for the Common App to any individual school. Long story short, back in the day, you could not edit the common portion of the Common App before you had to submit it to one school, after you submitted it to one school. Once you submitted it to one school, it was locked. You couldn't edit it for any school. But these days, oh my goodness, it's so easy. You can keep editing the common portion of the Common App for every college you submit to. Yes, let's say you submit to University of Miami today, and you can't edit the common portion after that point for Miami because you've submitted it to Miami. But let's say you've yet to submit it to Penn, or you've yet to submit it to GW, or you've yet to submit it to UVA. By all means, you can keep editing the common portion of the Common App for those schools until you hit submit for those schools. So again, it's just as easy as toggling between, yes, I'm going to submit my scores and they will appear, or no, I'm not going to submit my scores and they're not going to appear. And you can check this again one more time right before you actually go to submit your Common App to that given school by doing a full preview of the entire Common App, just to be sure nothing got funky and switched around on you before you hit submit. Now, if you want to be sure that you are submitting the very best Common App to a particular college on your list, I encourage you to purchase my newest product, which is known as my pre-read. When you finish your Common App and you want to know if it's as strong as possible and whether or not in its current condition Your chances of admission to a particular college are impressive, inconclusive, or inadequate. You want my pre-read. Getting my pre-read now means having me review your entire Common App, just like an admissions officer or an admissions committee will review it later, and receiving by email, no later than the time you reserve, a comprehensive report highlighting what's working and what's not on your full Common App and one Common App supplement. If you've yet to submit your Common App, my pre-read may motivate you to make adjustments to it before your deadline. If you've already submitted your Common App, my pre-read will prepare you for what I deem to be your likely admissions outcome at the institution in question. To purchase my pre-read, go to mypreread.com. Again, that's mypreread.com. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process, go to my website, which is collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.